this is almost done. I am thrilled. I've been trying to work on this vigorously to get it done because it's been now in process for a year. And let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 more blocks left. All of these blocks have not posted yet on the blog, so you're seeing this before I've posted a picture of all of this. Some of these blocks have been worked and I've scheduled them to post daily. I'm gonna try and finish up these next 5 and get a reveal shortly. Now I want to give you a little secret I've been working on. So for those of you who have been following along on this quilt along, I've been making 2 blocks for every pattern. So if you look, I have this one underneath. It's actually the same block. It's just done in a different colorway. See? Are you interested? Let me take this. I might take this a little bit closer in a minute. So, favorite blocks. I will say this. I really liked how this one turned out. It's not a favorite, but I like it. I dislike that one, how it turned out. If I would have selected a brighter white, it would have been better. Sometimes fabric selection can ruin a quilt block. This is one of my favorites. It looks hard. It's not. I have all the templates. I will link all of the quilt blocks below, and it is all in one blog post. And then you can read down the list of the 62 or 64 blocks. I now don't remember how many there are. You read down through it, see the block that you want. And this is a 9-patch variation spin. That's what it's called. That's one of my favorite blocks. I thought that one was going to be hard, and it was not. Let's see. This one was hard, but the results were amazing. This one was the demon block. The demon block. It was the hardest block, I would say, the hardest. Let's see. I know there's another one that I like. I kind of like this one. It turned out very nice. This one was hard, but I like how it turned out. This one was another double block. This one was very different, but I liked how it turned out as well. I mean, of course, the difficulty in some of these, like this one, very hard. This one's hard. This one was easy, I think. I think it has Y seams. Yeah, it has Y seams. It's easy for me because I have had a lot of practice with that. If you're not good at Y seams, just keep practicing. You will get it. And you will figure out exactly, oh, you'll have your light bulb moment, and you will be able to proceed with a whole lot more, with better skill set, let me say. But I really like how this block turned out. The colorway in it is just extraordinary. I picked the right colors for this one. All right, we are getting closer. Now remember, all of these blocks are 6.5 inches. So let's talk piece count. Let's go back up to this one. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 pieces. 1, 2, let's see. No, 6. I can't even count 6 pieces. There's going to be about 25 to 27 pieces in that block. Some of these are very, very piece savvy, let me tell you. This is another high piece count. That was a high piece count. So it's a rail fence. There's 5 strips in a 9 patch, so that's 45 pieces. This block is heavy. It's all seam allowance. I really like how that one turned out as well. I like how that one turned out. I dislike how that one turned out. only because when you step back, you really can't see the basket. I used too light of a color. Am I gonna remake it? No. I think I'm just gonna leave it as it is because I don't have time. I've got to move on. So let's discuss what I will be working on. After I get all of this done, you will see a reveal video of both tops. And because I have double blocks, yeah, you can see that one. That one's white on white. Okay, another white on white. You will see 2 quilt reveals for this. I really wanted to show you how you can manipulate color and saturation to make a completely different looking quilt. I really wanted to get this all sewn and then show it to you, but I really need to move on. So early on in this quilt along, I'm gonna say January-ish, because of all these difficult blocks, I had a lot of people lose interest. And because they lost interest, because it's hard, nobody wants to do hard, we all want to do easy, I was not getting views on my videos, so I quit posting videos. I made that executive decision, and it is what it is. I completely understand why my viewers did not want to watch videos that they were not going to have any inkling to make. Some of these blocks are very tedious, and I think I'm going to hold my horses and not do any more quilt-alongs for quite a while. This is an extraordinary amount of work on my end. Just designing it in EQ8 may take a day, okay? The color selections, the fabric selections to try and match what I have designed in EQ8, that was time consuming. I have done very good though. The only fabrics I have purchased are going to be the red ones. Okay, I have not purchased. I just was losing variety of reds, so I did purchase reds, and I probably purchased neutrals just because I always keep a nice variety of neutrals. But I tried to use everything in my stash, and so I was challenging myself. I'm gonna hold my horses though, and I'm not gonna do this again because it is just, you have to stay on time, and me having a job, working, just the mental exhaustion. There's roles changing at my job where we have one lady who is trying to step back in early retirement mode, and I'm stepping up. And when you are one good person down and you're trying to train a new person, it's a very taxing day some days. So mentally and physically, I may be drained at the end of the day to where I just can't come home and sew a block that will take me an hour and a half to make. So apologies, but life is life. So what have I got in the works? So how many of you own an Accuquilt? Okay, I own an Accuquilt. Actually, I bought one, and then me and my mother share it. If you have multiple quilting members in your family, I highly recommend that you buy an Accuquilt system and then have the whole family chip in and buy the dies. Whatever die catches their fancy, buy that die, and then all of you share it. That's what I highly recommend. So let's see. Pickle dish. It's curves. So I'm a firm believer that Accuquilt dies are magnificent. They cut extremely accurately. They cut quickly. But I don't want to have to pre-cut my fabric to run it through the machine to save time, because if I'm pre-cutting the fabric, it's not really saving me time. So I tend to only run my scraps through my Accuquilt. So maybe triangle and a square, or just simple squares, cut a bunch, put them in a box, save them for later. That's the part of the system I don't like. But the part I do like is curves. If any of you have ever cut out a quilt that has curves, it's I'm not going to say it's hard. It's just not as easy. It's just not as easy. You have to be way more precise in your cuts. So I'm going to be doing this, and I will insert a picture here of the quilt that I designed with the colorway that I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with 3 colors, a 3-color quilt. Okay, that doesn't really show up on screen. So we've got a lavender, a black, and a turquoise. And I don't know how big I'm going to make this. I'm going to cut one, sew one, and see how it goes, because curves are hard. Once I master, which I have made many curved quilts, but I find that if I drop the task and pick up something else, when I go back to it, it's a relearning experience every time I pick it up. If enough years have lapsed, sometimes even if months have lapsed. So I am probably going to be giving a tutorial about sewing curves, and there is one thing I have learned, and I will share that with you. That one thing helped me immensely when I figured it out. So that's what we have coming. Be on the lookout for this to finish. I am really, really excited, and I may do a time lapse of me sewing the top together. I'm not quite sure yet, but so I'm going to take advantage of the cooler temperatures, and I'm going to finish this sucker. I am going to push through. None of the blocks that I have left are hard. There's a basket block. There is another whirligig block. So there's one like this, just in a different color way. Alright, here I have my fabric selected. I have my printables printed, and I am ready to go forth with these blocks. Okay, this is my stack of to-dos. I have the embroidery flower quilt stuff there. I have several bins of stuff down below. I've got a hat I need to make. I've got a quilt I need to bind, plus all of this. Let's go to the sewing table. And my sewing table is not as big of a disaster as it normally is, but then there's this. So my process is, as I take and figure out what needs to go where. I take these to the ironing board, I iron them, I bring them back here, I cut them. Whatever's excess, whether it's a small scrap or it's a big scrap, it just gets piled over here, and then when I have time, I fold it, which you can see that there. These are some of my recent blocks that I have folded the fabric. Okay, this isn't as big of a disaster as it normally is, but I really don't want to lose my momentum by folding fabric and putting it away. So my stack is just going to stack up, and that's all there is to it. And then once I get it done, I will clear it all off, and then I will start my new project. Is that normally how I work? It just depends. Life happens. If I wasn't so freaking tired every day, that pile would be folded. But I now have to go in the laundry room, do some laundry, figure out what I'm going to have for supper, and all while I'm doing this, getting it done. I probably will post pictures on the community page of what the blocks look like, before they're sewn together, just in this state. And then I will sew them together. So be looking for that. And I may do some fun block short. Be looking for that as well. Thanks for watching.